Hey, and welcome back to this week's Global Business Boost. We're in week 6. Can you believe it? And today we're dealing with the life path aspect of feeling miserable, or the word miserable coming up as the aspect. So it's a bit of a heavy one this week, but considering I am feeling a bit of blue due to some sleep deprivation, it might be the perfect fit. So let's jump in. The card that we're going to be working with that's going to be supporting this balance is the Breath of Life card. So connecting that with feeling miserable, the Breath of Life, think about breathing in life fully, taking life, self-worth, really feeling energized by life. So this is helping support that deflation of energy in that miserable, heavy state. It also connects us to our higher selves, the higher aspect of our being. So, an interesting aspect that's come up this week is that there's a root cause, and that root cause is stuck emotional patterns. So, generally speaking, in life alignment, that is the reason why we do it. We look at the causal plan, and generally speaking, it's stuck emotional stuff that we need to release in order to get the energy to flow again, in order for our lives to work. That's what we're working on. But it seems to be particularly relevant for feeling miserable, or the word miserable coming up. And going into our story, there's 2 words this week. It's lethargy. I can definitely relate to that right now. So it's either feeling lazy or sluggish or tired, and just not feeling like you want to do anything productive or proactive. And then there's the word unpopular. You know, maybe you felt unpopular, or you did something unpopular, and importantly, it's in the age time frame of between 11 years and 14 years. So we're going back to teenagers, people. And I can definitely relate to that as a teenager, at the age of 14, moving to a new school, had braces, went from, the popular kid to the smart, unpopular group. I can relate to the feeling that lack of luster for life, and feeling heavy and feeling unpopular. So connect with what the story is for you. Lethargy and unpopular in between the ages of 11 and 15. So take some time now. You can pause the video if you like, just to go in and really connect with that story. How are those words connecting for you, and how are they connecting with the aspect of miserable? And do that now. Now that you've connected with your story, feel into what emotion comes up for you when you connect into that. For me, it's feeling a little bit subordinate or less than, and I'm feeling that in my shoulders. I can feel like I'm carrying a weight. So feel into what emotion is there for you, and scan your body and see where that emotion is sitting in your body for you. So often we carry our emotions at a physical level, and at a cellular level even. And feel in what's true for you. Where is that emotion being held? And just notice that it's only a physical sensation there when we connect with that emotion on a sensatory level. I'm feeling my shoulders, they're tight. Some zingy, tingly. So for you, what is the sensations? Just notice every detail of it. Does it feel light, heavy? Maybe there's a color or a shape if you're more of a visual person. Feel into that. Everything is perfect. Whatever comes to mind, just notice that. Take a little longer if you need by pausing this video before we move into questions. And in this emotional space of feeling this emotion that's been triggered by the memory of being a teenager again. The first question is, or first statement is communication. And it seems that we need to communicate with our teenage self. So connect in how does your teenager feeling right now? As the adult, just tune in, probably the same emotion that you felt earlier, and notice what are the needs of your teenage self at that time. What do they need? Do they need to feel loved? Do they need to feel safe? Do they need friendship? What is it that they need? And then communicate from your adult self to the teenager. Imagine they're standing right in front of you. Visualize them and say out loud, communicate out loud to them that you are there to help meet their needs and support them where you can. So for my teenage self, it's for him not to feel so alone and to feel loved and accepted for who he is. What is it for you? What does your teenage self need to hear that's connected to that story? And say it now. And notice. How do they respond? Is there any response? Do they just stare at you blankly? Maybe they say something back. Maybe there's some action that they do. Notice their response. And then make this a dialogue. Communicate with them. It can be back and forth. Well, how would you answer to that response? Or what action would you take? Maybe you want to give them a hug. Maybe you want to give them a high five. Whatever feels right for you. Do that now. Now it seems important for your adult self to find or to go to a place of safety where you know your teenage self will feel safe. So as the adult, go to this place of safety now. It can be real, can be imagined. Go there now and notice all the details. See it in full Technicolor. Touch everything that's there. Feel the textures under your fingertips. Notice the colors. Smell the air. Really become encapsulated with this visceral place of safety that you're in. And notice how you're feeling there as the adult. And when you're feeling ready and you're feeling safe, this is the invitation to invite your teenage self in to this place of safety. Bring them in now. And connect with them. How are they feeling here? Do they also feel safe? Do they also feel welcome and loved? And that's important. Stay with them here for as long as you need in order for them to feel safe. Now what's coming up next is about taking responsibility. So asking the adult self this question, how did you contribute towards creating this reality as a teenager? You know, what was your part to play? And as the adult, can you take responsibility for this? For the teenager. Maybe the teenager didn't have what it takes at that time. He didn't have the capacity or the tools. You do now. So can you take responsibility for the teenager? If you feel like you can, do it. And maybe ask yourself, how would you do this before you take action? How would you take responsibility for your teenage self? Now for me, it's about communicating and reminding him that he is accepted for who he is and he is loved. And I can do this every day. So look your teenager in the eye again in that place of safety, and communicate that you will do this. You will take responsibility for them in order for them to feel safe, to have their needs met, whatever that need was that came up earlier. Now visualize. Visualize is the last step. You're there with your teenager. Visualize taking responsibility now. So in your mind's eye, just close your eyes and see what it looks and feels like to take responsibility for them. That means when I'm feeling miserable and down, checking in with my teenage self, my 14-year-old, and just reminding them they're not alone, bud. I've got you. You are good enough. You are acceptable as you are. You are worthy of love. Visualize whatever it is for you that your teenager needs, and you as your adult self taking responsibility for them. Good. Well done. Balance complete. Now for the integration. It seems that what's coming up this week is chanting. So that could either be a mantra or maybe an affirmation that you repeat out loud to yourself. So what I doused for is that came up as a positive was either the Ganesh mantra, which is Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. You can repeat that and Google it, the Ganesh mantra, or you can say a mantra in whatever your mother tongue language is. So it could be something like, I love and honor myself. And the idea is to repeat this daily to yourself, and particularly just before you go to sleep. It seems that that's the best time of day to do it, for it to sink into the subconscious. So if you're willing to take responsibility, this is the next step to every day, out loud, repeat your chant, whether it's an affirmation or a mantra, to yourself. So good luck with that this week. I will see you next week. And we are looking at surplus there. So it's abundance, having more than enough. That sounds like a good one. So I hope today wasn't too heavy and miserable, and I'll see you next week for the Global Business Boost. I get that wrong every time.